Welcome back to another episode of I Mustache You Something. We left off talking about Mitch. You introduce it.
Yeah, we were talking about reconciliation and the how the Oriental Church and the Catholic Church come to this like feeling of guilt and needing to pay penance and like essentially to flog yourself is necessary to get closer to something that's not close. So for Catholics, it's to um to help erase the pain, like the original sin of Adam, and then from the Orthodox side, the Middle Eastern Orthodox side, it's to because it's the Arabic or not the Arabic, the Muslim influence on that side coming in. Um, and that the true answer is somewhere in the middle, which is this like get down to like the more fixing the hurt and the sin and kind of getting to the root cause of those problems. And then Sharif asked the question is if post Vatican II, if the Catholic Church is working towards becoming more feminine, would you say, Sharif? Is that kind of what you were hinting at?
No,
And mothering
more
of
more therapeutic, let's put it this way.
more therapeutic, yeah. And I would say the church is definitely, I think that's true. Um, and I think that to me, just like me personally, I think there's two ditches, right? Like I think there's the ditch of being overly therapeutic and then the ditch of being overly um punishment and being too much of a judge that inflicts God inflicts punishment upon us and we must serve our sentence. And there's a place in the middle that I think as in everything that needs to go. The way I grew up was very much Catholic guilt was like the name of the game. But I do know in some elements of the church it became more therapeutic and a little bit not woo woo, but like a little bit woo woo. And there's a kind of a thermostatic kind of like a thermostat thing. It's like, oh, it's too hot. Like, oh, now it's too cold. And we bounce back and forth. Just because I think, I mean, we're human, so the obvious answer, but I do think there's like you kind of overcorrect, right? From the sins of your father.
And I
Mm.
think the globalization of Christianity has done wonders for all of the churches, right? Where, I just learned yesterday that I think it's the Armenian church, correct me if I'm wrong, Sharif, like the only the priests take communion during the Great Lent. Is that true?
No, I don't know.
No. Somebody told me that. I was like, I mean, like we have our own share of like, really? Like
Yeah.
nobody else does that. Like, why do you do that? Right? And I think in this case for the Catholics, this Augustinian Anselmian transmission of guilt and the subsequent like sort of machinations that ended up needing, well, how is the oh, it's transmitted through the semen, like, oh, that must mean like sex is dirty, and like, oh, that means contraception is bad, and like, oh, like, you can't have sex unless it's, for procreation. And then you end up with all of these things that like literally nobody else in Christianity believes, and it's all because you got all hung up on guilt being, such a central thing, where it's not that it's not a central thing. There is such a thing as guilt. There is such a thing as atonement. There is such a thing as propitiation. But if you make that the only thing, then you end up with all of these things constructed around it that end up being, whoa, whoa, hold on, where did you get all this when nobody else, you know, centralized this thing so much, and nobody else came up with this structure, that I think the Catholic Church, kind of recognized that and was like, well, yeah, we might have gotten ahead of ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you for all the things except for my third rail, which is contraception. I agree with you on all of those things, but like the contraception thing is one where that's a for me that's a third that to me is like a very important like being have that relation being procreative is very important. So yeah, but I'm with you in directionally. I think I'm with you.
and that might just be a generational thing, right?
Yeah.
Where it might like for example, I'm trying to think of something that for us.
Well, it took the Coptic Church years to approve the use of contraception, by the way.
Oh, really?
I am
Why?
Contraception, IVF, all of this, because it was new in the 1960s and stuff. And
Hmm.
like, oh no, why we should do this, why we should interfere in God's plan, yada, yada, yada. And then later on, for example, for assisted reproductive techniques, Pope Shenouda, early Pope Shenouda was against it, late Pope Shenouda was with it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, and I've got 9 minutes before I need to jump, but I will say that I'm still I've just for myself I'm still very much in the Catholic camp on IVF on contraception, like very much for like I call it pastoral reasons, call it moral reasons, but like there I'm still very don't I have not yet been convinced to get off that train. I do think there is extreme value, even just in my daily life from like thinking that way. IVF is an easier example to explain, right? What do you do with the extra, et cetera? Um,
What about the
but
contraception one?
contraception is, I don't think I think that the act of sex within marriage is the most awesome, wonderful, best possible thing you can ever do. And that because it's so valuable, the result of that love should not be interrupted unnaturally. I think that the concern that the Catholic Church will overcorrected on is like sex is bad, and this idea of like, oh no, I can't, you know, making having sex with my wife should only be for the one, like only for reproduction. Like that's insane and crazy. The
Hmm.
correct answer is it's the bad, like being married and like sharing a marital bed is the like pinnacle of that relationship, and it should be treated as thus.
And
And
this is the Russian Orthodox Church, they understand it like this a little bit.
yeah, interesting. I think I think that's the to me, that's the way
But
like
if
a
we
lot of
understand that sex is both procreative and unitive, and that those
both.
two functions, um, in an ideal world, sure, are unified in the act of sex, but they're both equally valid components of what makes it great. And if you had one without the other, and sometimes it's not the unitive aspect, but the procreative aspect, where there's different types of procreation, right? The love of a family that is not able to procreate naturally, that adopts, right, separates the procreative part of the act, right, from the unitive part of the act by adopting.
No, that's
Does
not
that
because
not hold water?
I don't think
It's
adoption
different.
is I think adoption is like wonderful, but it's not that's someone else being procreative, which is great. Like that's
But the the
you're
the
taking on that
definition of procreative
responsibility.
being more flexible as something that we are participating with God in raising a life like
That
that sort
that
of.
I disagree. I think that to me, just like, and I could be wrong in the Catholic Church, I could be totally off base here of what the rules are, but to me, the act of taking part in creation, that's the part of procreative, and that joy of that procreative act is where you take part in creation. It's that to me, that's what is a creating of a soul. You taking part with God in the creation of a soul. That is the procreative part. Is the help like the creating of a soul at the time of conception. That's the miracle that you are taking part in with God. Not the raising is also great and like a miracle, but that the creation part is the part that I think about.
I think
And
this
my
just proves.
understanding,
I think both the the prohibition of contraceptives and the I think this is strictly, I think, a Western focus on sex, regardless of anything. I think if it just sex is just you know the union of a man and a woman, and if it's in an Orthodox Christian tradition, it's symbolizing the union of Christ and the church. But that's marriage in and of itself. It's not just the act of you know sex. I think this is just evidence of focus too much on the act. I think when you prohibit contraceptives or even think about them in some way outside of there just being a thing, I think you then focus too much on sex. And I think the West focuses, because of probably Augustine, focuses too much on sex, where it's
Well, I think
it's
that
a
maybe
form
was,
of communication.
but now how I understand the Catholic Church is, if God is gifting you a gift,
Mm,
you accept it.
mm,
Yeah,
But
and
if you
God is
put this
gifting
in a
you a gift.
context, for example, like why the Coptic Church approved the use of a contraceptive method back in Egypt, because the farmers back in Egypt, they didn't have TV, they didn't have electricity. All what they do is have sex and have kids. And then we have pastoral disasters. From a pastoral point of view, they approved it. While in the West, where we have less fertility, we have less number. So I can understand the current stand of the Catholic Church in the West, that no, if you are getting married, part of the marriage is the intimacy. You should not reject the gift of God. But what I don't approve from the Catholic Church is the strictness of it and the lack of the pastoral economia of it. I have some, what is the
No,
lady?
but it's not. You can get like if there's a risk, like if there's like a risk, man, like the pastor can provide guidance, and there are some latitudes for like
It's very
harm.
limited compared to the Orthodox.
Compared to the Orthodox, which is like basically you guys are like Denver lefties. Like you can do whatever you want, like whatever. Like all like that's crazy to me. Like
Shouldn't
that to
that
No,
me,
be? Shouldn't
we
that
you're
don't
be?
care
taking
about a lot of things in the
and
Orthodox,
that to
including
like let's
contraception.
close like just let's look for a second. If I go to an average Coptic church, it's like two parents, two kids. Like you guys are contracepting like crazy. Like that's a thing, right?
For you to equate contraception with the evils of abortion, which is what you necessarily have to do, you gotta understand that's a ludicrous position. To say that
No,
there's,
I don't.
I know, but
No, I
yeah, I
don't.
know you don't.
No,
I
I don't.
know,
No, I don't.
which
That's
which is
I
ludicrous.
completely
It's
reject that. I
ludicrous.
completely
The
reject that.
actual
They're the
murder of
same.
a tiny baby, it's the same. That's insane. That's just insane. How do you?
Okay, I have to drop, but we should definitely pick up on that in a second because I don't I think that suggesting that you're robbing your kids. So like my argument against contraception for there's a lot of reasons, but the one that makes the most sense to me is you're robbing your kids of siblings that they could
I'm
have
not
and the
I'm
joy
not
of siblings.
judging I'm
Not
not
you
judging your
specifically, but
choices.
like
I'm not No,
yeah.
but I'm not judging your choices. I'm judging your uh equivalence of murder, the actual murder, which is what we believe abortion is, the murder of a
Well,
human being
I
with
also disagree. Murder is murder.
uh
Lack of opportunity is lack of opportunity. They're not the same. No one's saying they're the same. You are. You're trying to make that happen, but they're not the same.
wait, you
Murder
just
is
said you
literally
did.
murder.
You can rewind
No,
and you
no, go ahead. What I said is that I think that they are more analogous than what you're making them to be, but they are not analogous.
oh, so but are they both uh uh, uh what are the sin differentiations in the Catholic Church? Are they both venial sins?
I don't know what the difference is, nor do I think it matters to the average Catholic.
Does it require confession?
To contracept?
Yeah.
Does lying require confession?
Yeah, it does. But
So,
there are
so what again?
venial sins and there
What are
are
we
mortal
talking?
sins. Is it a mortal
So,
sin? You don't know
I
if
mean,
it's a mortal sin or not?
you should Google it.
I don't know.
Does condoms equal mortal sin? Like I'm excited to look at your Google history. I have to drop, but let's talk about it. Bye, boys. Thank you.
It took everything in me not to tell Mitch, like, if you don't want to lose this argument, you need to disown your children.
The use of artificial contraception is considered a mortal sin in the Roman Catholic Church.
Wow.
The church defines the deliberate use of contraception as intrinsically evil.
What if I accidentally do it?
Yeah, now what is the deliberate use?
Oops.
Was that
I
you?
accidentally got a vasectomy. Oops.
Because it separates the sexual act from the possibility of procreation. So is viewed as disruptive the unitive and procreative purposes of marriages. It is a mortal sin. It must be done with full knowledge of this teaching and deliberate consent. So this is a horrible, horrible, horrible. Now you can though use the that calendar cycle thing, which to me I think is sort of like, all right, well you're yeah, you're right.
You get it all, or you don't get it at all.
Right. It just makes it just I think it's silly to compare to even compare the two. It's just.
I think we should continue on which Mitch is back to make it.
I know, yeah. He needs to be here to defend the position.
And
as
can you
ludicrous as it
somehow
may be.
rewind where he said they're equal? I mean, he said
No,
they're
no,
equal.
you baited him.
You heard
So that's what he said, that he's 100% right. That you
I would
baited
have
him
watched
and
it.
he didn't
He agreed.
know.
He agreed.
No,
No.
he didn't agree. He fell right into the Ralph trap, and I saw it happen too. I was like, no, Mitch, no, no, no. And then he couldn't walk it back as effectively because he had already taken the bait.
So that's but and something you guys were saying. I don't think I think we get too caught up in Jesus said, "If you love me, you follow my commandments." Right? That's what he said. If you love me, you follow my commandments. It's not a matter of penance. It's not a matter of absolving ourselves of sin, or I don't even think guilt comes from God anyway. So I don't think that it's just a matter of doing what God tells us to do. God tells us to do these things. God tells us to give and to care and to love and to forgive and to fast and to eat his body and drink his blood, and to don't deny ourselves fellowship with each other. So God commands us to do these things, and when we do them, it's the goal is that it's out of love for him, that we're doing
Right,
this.
but I think what's being adjudicated is not the principle of follow my commandments, but the clarification of which commandments are we talking about, and whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. So the church does have the authority to bind and
Right,
loose,
right.
right?
But the reason why I follow the commandments isn't to absolve myself of sin, isn't because I'm guilty. It's because it's a love response to him who told me to love him. It's
Sure,
not.
yeah, but like if the church says you can't use contraception, you can't just say, well, I love God, so I don't have to follow the rule. That becomes a commandment, not just of the church, but it becomes a commandment
Mhm.
of God,
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're
right?
right.
So
You're right.
so as I mean, we've already accepted that Mitch is a much better person than all three of us put
Mhm.
together,
Mhm.
right? He says harder when the three of us go,
Yeah.
yeah,
You take it under
I don't
advisement, as I
know.
say.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take that under advisement. I tried that once and I don't really like it very much. And not only is he a better Catholic, he's a better Copt than we are.
I give him that.
Right? So I think to a certain extent, w- we are 100% in agreement that yes, we want to follow God's commandments, to the best of our abilities. Some of us are better at that than others. The question is, are all these commandments created equal, or do some of them um, have a necessary pastoral interpretation that leans on a communication with the other churches, where if we realize, like Mitch said it, like there's a rebalancing. Like we realize we're being too rigid, let's be more flexible. We realize we're being too flexible, let's tighten it up a little bit. And I don't think that just happens on the individual level or the parish level. I think it's happening at the church level, where if the Catholic Church is comparing notes with its sister churches and going, yeah, maybe a little tight on this. I do believe the Coptic Church, has its own sort of issues with the 40 days and the 80 days and the women not being allowed to take communion, when they're having their periods, supposedly, where, a majority of women have a standing absolution to take communion whenever they are, moved by
It
the
doesn't
Spirit to
require
do so.
absolution. It's
What's
What
that?
did you say?
It doesn't require absolution. The strictest understanding now, it requires discussion, and then the loosest understanding, it's okay, go ahead. But no priest will give an absolution to do this. It's a discussion, or like, at least that's how I understand the current situation.
Yeah, but we've already
Well,
established that you don't understand the current situation because you felt like you're the one that is in a position to tell.
Oh, yeah, I'm giving the absolution. Yeah, okay, now I remember. Now I
So,
remember.
so when Ralph Toss and Meenam Siha are both going like, you said what? To who?
hey, remember those days?
I was like, "Oh, you said what?" Like, so yes, I don't think we share your perspective, Sharif.
And we're not women. So, I mean, I think, we can all
Ex-
ask our wives if we're interested in pursuing the matter further.
which,
I think we need to cut it short because we have another meeting.
I think they moved it to 9.
Yeah, I need
Oh, you need to prep.
10 minutes.
All right. Well, it's been
Well,
real.
gentlemen, wow, we shot 2 today. Look at that. That was
Yeah.
nice.
And we have the one that we never posted. So right now we have 3 in the barrel.
All right, that's good.
This is great.
So when are we going to do this again?
I don't know, sooner. I really want to recruit my friend who,
Yeah.
was busy last time. I think we can. Oh, why don't you guys do this? Why don't you guys do a little sign off? And even though you don't know who it is, say, we'd love for you to join us or something like that.
What's
So
his
that way,
name?
I can't say that because, like just until this person agrees.
Okay,
I
Sharif,
need
you
to
go
go.
first.
What?
You go first.
I need to go. I need to check on
All right. Well,
Well,
there we go. I
all
can't
right,
wait for this person to start. I hear he's great.
All right.
He
It's just the
just
two of us
signed
now.
off.
Yeah, he just left. He's like, yeah, I
He just
gotta go.
signed off.
He did the Sharif
What is
goodbye.
it called? The Irish exit?
Oh, I wanted to say Irish, but then I felt like maybe that wasn't like politically sensitive, so I said the Sharif goodbye.
I think you can still make fun of white people without a problem.
Actually, did you see the England game today?
Who
The
they play?
announce they played Ghana, and they start the game was here in Foxborough, like next to us, and they start the game with the announcer going, England has always had a hard time in New England.
Oh, that's a good one.
So yeah, it was good.
Did they win or lose?
They tied, which they were supposed to beat Ghana, so the prophecy came true.
And Egypt's playing Iran soon, right?
Yeah, Friday night at like 11 p.m. or something.
Oh, Jesus.
My prediction, and actually this probably will be posted after this has already happened, just like
Right.
Sharif's prediction of the
Yeah.
Iran invasion, is that on July 8th, which is a Monday, Egypt will be playing USA in Seattle.
That's your prediction.
That's my prediction.
Wow. All
That's
right.
my
Who
prediction.
wins?
I now you're speaking to my heart, not to my mind.
Who do you want to win?
Egypt. Egypt.
No, I want the United States to destroy them. That's my goal.
Why?
I'm an American, bro. What do you want me to do?
Really?
Yes,
Wait,
100%.
you don't have a Egyptian soccer heart?
They don't let Christians play, bro. There hasn't been a Christian playing since 1990 something. Get out of here.
Maybe they're just not very good.
No, yeah, right. That's horrible. That's racism right there, man. That is the racism, right? That's the racism that's keeping your people down. That's what it is. That's the racism that's
Let's
keeping
just
your
move to the
people
United
down.
States and become doctors. Call it a day.
There you go. We're there.
You can have the
All right,
team.
have fun. Let me
All
know
right,
what
bye,
happens
baby.
on the 27th. If anything changes, I'll let you know.
Will do. Bye.
All right, keep me in your prayers.
Bye.